Hi everybody, this is Cathy from Cathy Cuts Paper, and as you know, I am a Fun Stampers Journey Coach. I wanted to show you, I just got my January bloom box from Fun Stampers Journey. It's a kit of a month, and I'm going to walk you through putting this together. First of all, Richard always supplies us with a full color glossy instruction pamphlet. It not only shows you how to do the cards that are in the kit, but it gives you techniques and tips. And we will be using both of these today. Wanted to show you the different cards we're going to do. This one. This one. It's about the journey, not the destination. Home is where the heart is. And you mean the world to me. So we'll start with the very first one here. Believe there is good in the world. Now I haven't even opened the stamp set, and I wanted to show you with the kit of the month with Fun Stampers Journey, the bloom box. It's not little tiny stamp sets, it's a full stamp set. So I'll get this open. Now they come on these carrier sheets, but what you do is you take them off, and we'll do that as we use them, and then you just put them on the firm board that is indexed in the front. So, card instructions. First of all, we need the globe stand, the globe without. It has two globes, one with grid marks and one without. We're going to do the one without. The next thing, believe there is good in the world. And those are the stamps that we need right now. So we'll set that aside. And they have, everything is in this for the cards you're going to make. It has the card base, all the die cuts, the trim, everything. So this is the first one that we need. And the instructions are quite complete. So it says the first thing to do is using black licorice ink, which is this ink. We're going to do the globe stand. Onto the white, the whipped cream card panel. The acrylic blocks are gridded, which makes it really nice for lining up. You always put your stamp on the side that does not have the grid on it, so you don't get ink in it. And you can see how it's lining up. Do it the easy way here. See? Now the next thing we're going to do is stamp the globe, because we need to color this, but we're going to wait and let that dry for just a second. And let me see what orientation I want. And this we're going to stamp onto the whipped cream circle, which is this one right here. There we go. Now I want to show you on here, you'll see little lines in there like someone took a pencil and scribbled. It's supposed to be that way. It's not supposed to be solid. So if you see that, don't think you did anything wrong. Now we're going to go back and color our globe stand. And what I'm using, what they suggest in here is the Color Splash pencils, which are the watercolor pencils. That's not what I'm going to use. I like using the colored pencils, which are the Color Burst. I'll show these to you. These are the Color Burst pencils. They're wax-based with an oil coating, so they blend really well. There's 48, 2 trays, with a color chart showing which pencils you can combine to match the colors in the Fun Stamper's Journey color palette. So that works out really well. All right, so I'm coloring it with color number 46. It's a beautiful gray here. Everyone has their own coloring items that they like. Some people like the watercolor pencils. A lot of people use the re-inkers from Fun Stamper's Journey. There's pan pastels, all kinds of different things that Fun Stamper's Journey has in their catalog. I just have always been partial to colored pencils. And these are really nice ones. I'm just coloring this lightly. Okay, and then I have lines in here. But what I can do is I can take our blender stumps, and you can use baby oil, you can use all kinds of solvents and things like that. I like using odorless paint thinner. And I just put it on a little cellulose sponge, and you can see how this darkens on here a little bit. It doesn't take a lot. And what it does is it kind of melts the pencil, the wax, the oil in the pencil, and smooths it. So this is really good for smoothing out what you're doing. It's also really good for blending. If I were using 2 different colors here, I could go and it would blend them. And the Fun Stamper's Journey True Color Fusion ink is not affected by this. It's just there. It's not gonna bleed or do all kinds of weird stuff. Okay. There's my little stand. Now I'm also going to be coloring the globe, and I have 2 blues here. I have 26 and 25. So I'm going to start with my darker one, which is the 25. And I'm going around the edges. And I'm going to be blending again, so it doesn't need to be exact here. You can see I'm just basically laying down some color that I can pull with my blending stump. Then I'll take my lighter color, which is 26, and I'll just lightly put in some color. And this again, the instructions, they say use Color Splash, which is the watercolor pencils, or in any coloring medium. You can use alcohol markers, you can use all kinds of stuff. Now with my blending stump that I used with the gray, I'm not worried about it spreading the color. They're similar enough in tone. However, you can get this, which is for cleaning your stumps. And these are basically a paper type of thing. So on your sandpaper, you're just getting that all off, and see, it's perfectly clean now. So I'll get a little bit of my odorless paint thinner. And this is not only evening out the pencil marks, but it's pulling the dark into the light. So it's not going to be all one color. It's going to have some blending in there. And I did a couple dark marks of the dark in the middle of the ocean so that I'm getting some variations there. And the more blending solution you use, the smoother it's going to get. Now, one of the reasons that I use the odorless paint thinner is when you use anything with an oil base, it's going to bleed through your paper. And that always just makes me nervous. And you can see here, nothing, it's not coming through. Alrighty, so we are blended there. Okay, we did our globe. Then we're going to stamp believe there is good in the world. And we're going to stamp that onto the sweet pear circle. And with all of this, we are using the black licorice ink. There we go. Okay, now we have our tag die. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut off about 1/2 inch. Then we will take our twine, and I'm doubling it. So we're going to get this so our ends are all even. And tie a bow just like a shoelace bow. Now in the instructions it says that you can add a decorative staple there, but I don't have my decorative stapler yet, so we're not going to do that. Now we're going to put our white panel on our Huckleberry Fusion panel, and we're going to use foam squares, the larger ones. Then we're going to pop our globe up, also using foam squares. See, so we have a little 3D globe on the globe stand, which is really cute. All right. Then we have our card base. I'm going to use the crease tool to get a good crease on there. Okay, now for spacing, goes that way. I was thinking this isn't going to work. So it's a flip-up card. It has a landscape thing. So on the right-hand side, if you leave about 1/2 inch between the top of your tag and the edge of the card, and we're going to use our Easy Glide. And we'll also use our Easy Glide. To put our panel on. And then we're going to pop up our sweet pear die cut with the sentiment. We want to put this so we're not covering up the globe stand. Then we're going to put some silver silk on this. And you can see the metallics on the bottom. So you want to shake it until the metallic's gone. And there's a little BB type thing in there, stainless steel BB. Can you hear it? And you do want to get your stuff out of the way when you're going to use your silk, or you will have silk colored stuff. Isn't that cute? And I always go over and wipe off my silks with a wipe. Now we're going to put some sequins on. Now the sequins are in one of the other packets, but there's enough sequins for everything that you need here. You can apply your sequins to your cards using either the little clear glue dots, or you can use craft glue, you can use journey glaze. There's all kinds of different ways you can do that. I'm going to use the craft glue. And it's always good to have a little piece of scratch paper. I'm going to do that to make sure the glue's flowing before I do this. Okay, so decide where you want your sequins and put just tiny dots. Those two. You can go by the picture in the instructions, or you can just figure out where you want it yourself. All right. These are really pretty sequins, the color. All right, we are now done with our first card. This one is called Believe There is Good in the World. Isn't that pretty? So we'll set that aside and do our next one.